Well, I'll give the history. First off, I saw you looking at the grass. Did you cipher it?
I think it's perennial ryegrass.
It is a perennial. Okay, well, that works for me too. Okay, anyway.
There's a big difference.
And he may not have known what he. I'll say that. He probably knew what he had. Okay, so when we bought this, then it was in perennial ryegrass. He flailed it last season when he was done cutting, and they were going to plow it under. Maybe it was the last season that it was, they do the 5-year rotation or whatever, and we're going to switch something out. But anyway, so it had been all flailed. So we actually had a really nice thick layer of, flailed chaff all over this field, which was, I think, great for going through the winter so that we didn't lose a lot of soil when it poured down rain several times. So this spring, when we brought animals onto the place, obviously we started out with getting layers out here, and then finally the broilers came out on the property. When we start butchering in May, so the chicks were out here in April on the field finally, and so we got that going out over here on that side of the creek. And then also in April, we brought in about 125 head of cattle from a friend of mine, Mark Wall, who has a pretty large herd of cattle. We brought in a whole bunch of calves. They're all 500 to 700 pound calves, and we brought them in to just kind of keep this down. We just didn't want it to just go to hay, because we don't have the equipment to make hay, any of that kind of thing. So we wanted to make some sort of use of it, and they were paying me to run their animals on the place anyway. So
that was a custom graze?
Yeah, it was a custom graze deal.
It was a per diem?
Yes.
So you didn't weigh them, it was a per diem per animal?
It was a per animal deal, yeah. So it was
What does that mean? Well, there are all sorts of arrangements, but when you're custom grazing, somebody else owns the animals, they're running I'm running them for that owner, and some arrangements are made on a per pound of gain. In other words, we're going to split, 50-50 so they're weighed when they come in, weighed when they go out, and the payment's made on the pound of gain. Others are made on a per diem or a per day basis, basically as a boarding fee. You're boarding these animals for so much a day. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I gotta use the stairs. That's what custom grade. It's a way for an outfit that has no capital to be able to turn their solar energy. What this was, when this forage began growing, it was metabolizing solar energy into carbon that had value, biomass that had value. And so what Tyler was trying to do was convert that solar energy into some sort of a value without using petroleum or machines to make it happen.
So he gets paid by the amount of gain that his borrowed cows put on to get in a period of time.
Well, in this case, it wasn't gain; it was so much per day.
Okay.
But they did gain, and that's what makes it work.
Yeah.
I mean, the assumption is, they're going to gain things. So go ahead. So they were here.
So they came in April, I think, is when we brought them in, and obviously we started where we brought them in, and I actually did some rotational grazing with this herd. They weren't used to being moved, so these are all a bunch of young calves. They've never been, rotationally grazed before. They've just had they get dumped onto fields like this, and they just have the whole field to graze on. So I moved them around on this 30 acres or 25 something in there, and we actually rotationally grazed that area.